For God grant that your word may invade our words, that it may make the complex simple and the weak strong, that the blind may lead the blind without both falling into the ditch, and that the whisper scarcely heard in the furthest pew may give meaning and power to life. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I thank somebody down here. I could hear the little hum when I said without both falling into the ditch. I wish I had written that prayer. It was written by John Hines, our beloved former presiding bishop. And I love it. And I think it says what needs to be said, that we seek to walk together without both falling into the ditch, that we find out where the ditches of life are, and we work at avoiding them, and work at helping each other avoid them. Thank you so much for your warm welcome. I am one of the other bishops of New York. A great privilege to serve with Mark Sisk and with Catherine Roscom, our bishop and our suffragan bishop. And now with another assisting bishop, like I. His name is Drew Smith. He's the former bishop of Connecticut. Wonderful to be in this place. I've never been in Peekskill. I've driven over top of it. That's what you do. You go through, you drive over top of Peekskill. And I've looked from right to left from time to time. I wonder where St. Peter's is. And I knew it was down there somewhere. What a privilege to be here with Carly and with all of you together on this wonderful day for Mary and for me to celebrate. I have met the 3 confirmands and 2 persons to be received. They are wonderful. They know all the right answers. They are going to work at remembering this day and remembering even the possibility of remembering the name of the old man who came to town. That's nice too. I hope you'll listen to that gospel, and if you didn't, I hope you'll look back at it and look again at those words. They are tough words that Jesus speaks. They are hard words, and yet they are the life and the lifeblood of our belief. They are in the 5th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. The 5th, 6th, and 7th chapters make up what we call the Sermon on the Mount. And it's at this point that Jesus talks about things that are salty, and the salt indeed can sting with sharp and unforgiving angularity. That's not my phrase. That's a comment written by someone looking at this particular verse with sharp, unforgiving angularity. He just says it right out. I say to you that if you're angry with your brother or your sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult a brother or sister, you'll be liable to the council. And if you say, you fool, you'll be liable to the fire of hell. That's Jesus talking. He talks about the fire of hell. That's tough stuff, friends. It's got no unforgivingness to it. There's no difference in murder. It's not just done by a gun or knife. You can murder by looking at a person. You can murder by what you say to a person or about a person. It's not just the letter, but the spirit of the law. There's no Jesus meek and mild coming through in this gospel that we have. The act of offering, toward the end we get if you go and make your offering, and suddenly you remember that you've got something against somebody, or that somebody has something against you, whoa. Making an offering to God. Giving God your best without first reconciling, asking forgiveness, telling someone what needs to be said. Just doesn't work. That says Jesus. Following Jesus means dealing with the complexities of our world and seeking the richness of following Jesus in the world. And if we want to know something about the following of Jesus in the world, flip over, if you will, to the middle of the order of service. You've got the order of service there in front of you. It's called the baptismal covenant. We say this is following Jesus in the life of the church. We do it by saying the creed, as we will do in just a few moments, is the centerpiece of this service. Because the spotlight today, dear friends, is not on 3 persons being confirmed and 2 being received. It's on all of us, because all of us together with them renew our baptismal covenant. I asked the group as I sat with them this morning, what do you remember about your baptism? Nobody remembered too much, because most folks were baptized when they were pretty little. Some had some pictures of it. I confess that I didn't like it when my mother always showed the picture of me in a dress. But it's important to remember and know something about your Christian beginnings when the commitment was made in your name and for you. And it's important to realize that we cannot renew our baptismal covenant enough. And we do it, as you see here in this order of service, as a response to the creed. If we believe this, this is the way we live. The creed is the Apostles' Creed. It's the old creed, if you will. You find this baptismal covenant only in 3 places in the prayer book. You use it at confirmation, as we are today. Obviously, you also use it at what?
Baptism.
Baptism, of course. And the 3rd place, and I bet none of you know, where's the 3rd place that you use it in a service that's in the prayer book? Don't hear a word. In the liturgy for Easter Eve. When you come to Church Carly, I'm sure you have an Easter Eve service, don't you? Around 11 o'clock at night? There we go. And you use it. Use the baptism covenant.
Yes, we do.
That's right. There you go. The point at which you identify yourself with Jesus' death and resurrection, how do you do it? The baptismal covenant, the death to sin and the rising to new life. And there's plenty of straight stuff here in the covenant. There are 5 verbs that stick out in the 5 questions. Will you continue? The word continue, and sometimes it's very hard to continue, sometimes it's not. Persevere. Proclaim. Speak up. That's what persevere. Proclaiming. Seek and serve. They're 2 very specific things. You seek and serve each other. And strive. Strive.